as people come in, we'll catch everybody up. So in the meantime, those that did, we have two hyperlinks up here. The first being to sign in so that we can register you online. The second one will be a very important one so that we can all take part in what we're going to be bringing this coming semester. The first thing we're going to touch on today, if I can go ahead and just introduce who we have up here. The first general meeting we held it in the BSC, in the multi-purpose room. And if you were there, most of that was done by our senior advisor as well as our vice chair. So everybody's been mostly introduced to Alex. Hey everybody. Alex, vice chair of the IEEE, senior level electrical engineering student. Myself, I didn't get to join, I was in a class at the time, but I'm Ruben Acevedo. I'm the chair of the IEEE for this semester. And I think I got to introduce myself a little bit, but then I had to run off the class. So, who else do we have here? We have Alan Jean-Pierre, sophomore level electrical engineering student, or computer engineer.
In the air right now.
Ah, good.
I have a good buffer to decide.
Patrick?
My name is Patrick Stockton. I talked at the last meeting, but I'm the senior advisor for Cedar Branch as well.
Patrick was our previous chair of the organization, so a lot of the things that we know and improve on come from Patrick. If you have further questions and I'm unavailable, there's always a wealth of knowledge to contact as well. To my right, we have the director of our Robotics and Automation Society, Anthony Ortiz.
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm a junior level electrical engineer here. That's about it.
Yes. And with that, we let people know that electrical engineering, IEEE isn't specifically to just electrical engineers. We have sub-chapters that will be able to utilize multiple disciplines. And with robotics, we see that in that there's programmers, double E's, as well as mechanical engineers that deal with the solid chassis of the robot that they can take to competitions that we hold in different states for our national branch. So from there, let's see here. Aha! So our nearest event coming.
Maybe try and like put it. Can you use that again?
Like a logo.
Here on this wall.
Maybe nested in a
Oh yeah, the wall's much darker. I try to give it a spin. Okay. Visibility? A little better, a little better. So on here what we're showing is our first event that we're going to be holding this semester. It's this Friday. It's in 2 days from today. Hello, y'all. Hi, hi. Hi. So the Fragathon is the term we've denoted for our gaming tournament that we hold during the semester, so we can get further communication between our officers as well as our general members. This one's going to run a little differently than in the past. What we're usually known for are titles like Unreal Tournament and Halo. Instead, we're going a little more casual this time with a title called Screen Cheat on the Steam software, which is less about just shooting around, and it has this core mechanic to where you see each other's progress on the screen, but you can't see the other players. You have to literally look at the other person's screen in order to know where they are. So it's a lot of fun, and we're going to have that available for prizes. First prize will be the Chromecast that you attach to any TV. It doesn't have to be a smart TV, and it'll give it the capabilities to send things from your phone and mirror things from your devices so that you can run things like Netflix or run things like the Chrome operating system. Second place will be a VR headset. It'll be the Google compatible Google Cardboard type deal. So you can take any smartphone, be it an iPhone or an Android phone, place it inside of the case, which will be the prize, and then use entry-level virtual reality. With third place being an Anchor power bank, 5,200 milliamp hour power bank to use to charge your tablets, or cell phones. So that's going on this Friday, and it's not just the tournament itself. In addition to it, we're going to have a PC running a different title, the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4, as well as a PlayStation 4 setup. And what separates this from previous tournaments is that we're also going to be featuring 2 of the HTC Vives. Is anybody familiar with the Vive so far? HTC for the virtual reality? Well, yeah, it's one of the second prizes. What the Vive is it's a $900 set that's pretty much just been put on the market this year that you can connect to your PC so that whenever you're implementing the software, mostly for entertainment, mostly for games, certain labs are using it for medical purposes to train.
But you need a certain graphics card to run those?
You do. You need a pretty beefy computer in order to use them. So we have 2 of our personal PCs that we're going to be demonstrating this on. And just because we're individually, you know, some of us are computer enthusiasts ourselves, it's the GTX 970 that's going to be inside to run it. So we're going to have those available since it's not a very common item that you can kind of just go into Best Buy or GameStop and check out. They'll be bringing that as a demonstration eventually. But we're early adopters of the technology, so we're going to have it there for people to come by and check out. There is a buy-in for the tournament as well as for the HTC Vive Virtual Reality. To enter the tournament, it would be a $2 buy-in. To use the virtual reality for 15-minute blocks that we're going to be able to do on a first-come, first-served basis, it will also be $2, and then we'll have sodas available for $1 each. That's where membership is going to come in for the first time around, to help out and discount all of that. If you've already become an IEEE student member and paid the $10 dues, all of that is available from the get-go. And we'll have a system there to verify your information, which gets you into the tournament itself, gets you your spot for the Vive, and then your refreshments. Along with it, we're also going to be talking about some of our upcoming workshops. The first one that we have that is absolutely on our radar will be for the Friday after this coming Friday, on the 23rd. We're going to have our Unity workshop. So if you've heard of Unity, Unity is a software that a lot of game developers use in order to manipulate things in 3D space as well as create 3D assets. And we found that it's been an engaging type of software that helps with coding. Instead of it just being code that runs a script or anything else, this gives us something tangible to use C# on and get familiar with syntax for code as well as its general usages, pointers, functions and all, and shows you a result that a lot of us have an interest in. Make it do something, have something that can come back onto the screen. So next Friday that'll be happening, and we're aiming for 5:30 p.m. I believe. A later time like that allows a lot of us to get out of classes, allows us to get off of work and hold something, and that's going to be run by our senior advisor, who we got to meet here, Patrick Stockton. Patrick and I and a couple others have been using it for a while now, and because of it, because it's been kind of a side hobby thing, it's helped us in networking with different types of meetups in Austin. Austin and San Antonio are forming groups that are kind of on the edge of augmented reality as well as virtual reality, and being able to develop some basic projects for that have helped us in our connections, and we're trying to see that come through the organization as well, if we can lend a hand with people that can start having this leg up on the competition. So with that, it's going to be a very intro level type deal. I've been to other workshops where you've got to kind of have an understanding of what's going on before you can do something really relevant. We're going to be taking the first baby steps because we're not that extreme or advanced ourselves, and it'll be really helpful to go from having a fresh install of the software on your machine to taking those first baby steps, creating a project file, creating an asset, being able to manipulate it to do very basic things, giving it physics, creating a terrain and manipulating that terrain to do something that you can go off and show friends and maybe possibly gain another skill, which is always going to be a plus. So that's when we'll hold that one. And then it'll be complemented possibly 2 weeks afterwards with a more in-depth version of itself, where we will have a representative either from Unity or somebody who's well versed in it as a developer come down and show the next step of what to do with those basic skills, what to think about when you're making something that will actually be engaging for an audience, so we can take that further. Another workshop will be following that exact Unity workshop. Is going to be one based around, let's see, was it going to be the Linux? So this one's more up in the air. This is where we need feedback from people who may be interested. A lot of things alongside robotics will use things like the ROS, Robotics Operating System. And then a lot of hobbyists, when they go into makeshift engineering, they'll use the Linux operating system. Very plug and play. It's an absolutely free operating system. It runs parallel, not having to buy licenses either from an Apple product or a Windows operating system. So if you want to get started in learning how to use Ubuntu, the specific flavor of Linux, we're going to be doing that on the 30th, hopefully, of this month, which will be run in, as well, be an introductory type level deal. We can figure out the basics that way. Now, I'm going to bring this back up. Was everybody, all right, left. There. Was everybody able to sign in on devices? If you're available, I recommend going to this hyperlink so we can get your information and build up on our point system. So in previous semesters we've been here, we haven't had the point system available, but it's now going to place you in the running for prizes, as well as hopefully we'll get, we're looking into seeing if we can go out and talk to some companies about funding some stoves. So when coming closer to graduation, I know the MIAS organization, because MIAS also has an incentive to graduate with their stoves as well.
So if you guys aren't familiar with what a stole is, it's kind of like this extra piece that you wear on your body when you, across your neck when you graduate. So like, the university gives you a blue one with the insignia, the seal of the university. But I think it's, if you become an officer of MIAS and Eta Kappa Nu and stuff like that, you graduate with a stole. So right now we're trying to work to where if you become an officer of the IEEE, you could potentially earn one of those stoles, which is again an incentive to further promote the organization and for yourself to graduate.
What if you already graduated? Like, what's an ask? Can you still be part of the IEEE here at UTSA?
Always, yeah. We have grad students available as
Yeah,
membership.
yeah, cause I wanna put GRE soon.
Oh.
So I wanna be a grad student.
Yeah, it totally applies. Our senior advisor, Patrick Stockton, has just begun his master's degree. So,
Yeah, I'm a graduate student as well.
Mhm. Full availability for graduate students. Totally possible. Totally possible. Now, like we said, when we walked in, we were talking about the student organization having that kind of representation and then trying to learn the soft skills and having different involvements will always come in handy when you go up to a company and let them know what you've lent a hand with, that you went beyond just the curriculum and lent an extra hand. So I'd like to turn this portion of it to ask what else we might be able to see. Presenting from what we have, a lot of that would be getting familiar with each other and then having opportunities to help each other as far as whether it be curriculum or what professors to talk to or what areas to go to. One thing I can tell you now is that if you're in the middle of your, or most likely undergraduate during your classes, things like EA1 can be a really rigorous course, a very serious course where the material itself isn't super hard, but it's kind of like a new form of information that you're being presented with. There's a tutoring section, this very floor of this building that's been opened recently, almost exclusively for EA1. If you haven't seen it already, it's room 30 on this floor. If you go towards where the sliding glass doors are and you take an immediate left into that room, there's free tutoring in there so that you can get another leg up on the competition as far as that goes. I remember I had to spend about maybe 2 hours a day in the JPL reserving rooms to remember my Laplace tables and everything that came with it, mobile analysis. So luckily they've got that available, so I recommend taking advantage of it. But what else could we see? We entertained the idea of maybe doing something along the lines of like a Toastmasters, so that we can increase our soft skills, so we be better prepared for coming into experiences like going to mixers or professional mixers in really different areas.
What is a Toastmaster?
Let's see. I'm not quite sure. I've never attended one. Does anybody have a good idea on Toastmasters?
So Toastmasters is like a multi-purpose sort of an organization. So it's not just to improve your communication skills, but it's also a place where you can like network with industry professionals and people who are already like kind of just coming. Because Toastmasters is not just specific to the university, it also invites people from the industry, the other parts of academia and stuff. It's pretty cool.
So
It has
it's pretty
members
cool.
and it has guests who come in. So
I like the sound of that. We could probably do that with a representative. We talked to some people. I know in the past we've had a representative come down from Microsoft, and it turns out he was a previous chair of the IEEE here at UTSA back in 2008, and went on to work at Apple firstly, worked on the batteries for their iPads, and
How he works at Microsoft.
and then worked at Microsoft. But for about the same concentration, doing the battery pack for the HoloLens. Has anybody heard of the HoloLens? They're a mixed reality type headset that they have. It's untethered from a PC, and then it has really interesting ways to interface with it. It mostly has gestures for the infrared sensors in the front. So we got to come down and talk, and it was a bit of an opportunity also to see what he took away from being in the student organization and how that helped. So we can do something along those lines. I think companies we might want to look at possibly Lenovo. I don't know if Dell's available. They have a relationship with the college to where we might not be able to talk with them.
They're coming down.
They are coming down.
Next few days, on the recruitment.
Okay.
are they coming on 20th?
I don't know the date, I know they're doing something.
The STEM career fair is the 20th.
Okay.
I feel like it's the 19th, that's Monday.
19th Intel
No,
is
no.
coming, according to what I know.
They might all be
It's
on 19.
It's Monday.
I know what I'm saying, the STEM career fair is the 20th at 4 or something.
It's like 1:30
1
to
to
4.
4:30 Tuesday.
No, it's 4. 4 from, it's pretty late.
It's fantastic.
No, it's
then.
like 1:30
Oh,
to 4:30,
1:30
something
to
like that.
Okay, sorry.
Very good.
4:30.
It's like
Oh, very good.
the
It's,
We can talk to Don.
yeah, so we have about socials covered. But what else? What else can we think about? Because our main purpose is one, to serve the members, which is you guys. Is there anything else we could see that we can lend a hand with? We could reach into our departments and try to produce here. Any ideas?
I guess for recent graduates like you,
Yeah.
we're trying to kind of network with people,
Okay.
trying to get out there, I guess, for more job opportunities.
Job opportunities.
Yeah. That's what we're doing right now. We come to school just to keep learning I guess, what we studied and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we do want to get our network, I guess, expanding.
Okay. I like the sound of that because our national chapter, of course, we're the student chapter of IEEE here, and we do report to a national chapter up in, we all meet in San Marcos, Texas. And what they often have is different events that we're able to volunteer at that have a lot of industry giants attend. Excuse me. And the last one that we went to, which was an awesome networking availability, was the IEEE Rock Stars of Wearables. And the entire theme for this event was wearable technology. Pebbles, smartwatches, different bits of tech that could be adorned into jewelry or worn as a headset or implemented into clothing. And they had different people talking about what an avenue so new could entail and who's going to be best suited for going into that industry. Is it programmers, is it hardware implementers, and how they're going to work together. So in the past, that was pretty much only open to officers of the organization. So myself and maybe 2 other people would go by and lend a hand. And then one of the biggest things we get out of that is being able to trade business cards and attend and asking people what they did to get where they were currently. and what they recommend for students like ourselves to do. I'd like to instead talk to them about opening that up to IEEE members, so that if there are volunteering spots, we can make that available to more than just those that are in the organization, and to go to them. If you're outside of the organization, you're not a member, what I've seen is that a lot of times the buy-ins for these types of events will be about $150. And then as an officer, we've been able to volunteer instead for free. We put in a little bit of work at the event, doing registration for the people as they come in, or working some of the audio, video, and then lending flyers and information to people that come in, the actual industry attendees. That cost can be severely reduced if we tell them instead about IEEE membership, where it comes down from $150 down to something closer like $26. So that's a good idea. We'll go ahead and talk to people so we can try to expand that social network with others in the field, because that's a huge part of graduating out of here, is knowing the right people. So that even if you've got all the appropriate skills and you've got the know-how, it doesn't do any good unless somebody knows about you. So
When you talk about joining, I know that in the first meeting, we talked about, I guess, there was a fee that you could pay. And there's a IEEE proper online.
right.
Those are two separate entities?
They are. The first one is so that we can better serve the students that are interested in IEEE, and so a lot of the things we're going to offer throughout the semester are going to be geared primarily at them, and then given first choice benefit to them. And then, when joining the organization itself, so when we hold elections in the spring, to become a full-fledged officer, they do have the $32 at the national level. And that's what we've been renewing year in and year out, so that we can keep up to date with beyond just UTSA happenings. This is going to go over information as to what they hold in Austin, what they hold in San Marcos, and then the compilation of events that they'll be holding as well. And we haven't had a big one recently. We've been in talks about holding a joint operation, but it's yet to come to fruition. So there's been some extra benefits to that. If we mentioned in the first general meeting that if you were to join the national level, but before becoming an officer or doing elections here at UTSA, it still has its benefits to it, to where that'll get you their subscriptions, which are always full of information, as well as operating systems. I haven't updated to see if they offer the newest Windows 10 OS, but when I joined, I got to, instead of having to spend $100 on operating systems for my machines that I was building, they'd offer Windows 7 Professional as well as Windows 8.1 Professional, that the full-fledged license that you can place on your computers, as well as 20% off through Lenovo, if you're in the market for a PC or a laptop, which can be a nice chunk of change if you're going in that $1,000 range for, engineering geared PC with extended graphics. So if you are not yet with us right now, the $10 is available to pay at any time. What we have, our office is just across from us. We refer to it as the parts bin. The reason we call it the parts bin is another function of the IEEE here at UTSA is throughout your EE curriculum, you'll be taking the courses Lab 1 and Lab 2 with Dr. Hansen. What we do as an organization, in addition to the socials and professional building, is we build the lab kits that we use for that course. That'll be the toolkits that you see certain students walking around with. That'll have their digital multimeter as well as their oscilloscope probes and their BNC connectors, and then a slew of the integrated circuits and resistors and capacitors that you'll use within the lab itself. Yeah, hopefully nothing that you'll use within the lab. And as members, we've been in charge of building that for the past couple of years. And then if you need extra components, if you're looking for something else for another class for projects, we also sell them in the parts bin for much cheaper than if you had to drive off to wherever and buy things like capacitors, individual resistors, and integrated circuits, mostly op amps, 555 timers, that kind of thing. Another thing that I wanted to present here to tell you guys first is that in the past, we were also a convenience area to offer consumables. That same office that we have We had along the likes of energy drinks, bottles of water, Cliff Bars, and chips and pretzels and all sorts of other refreshments because, you know, a lot of people were tired of running all the way to the JPL or wherever else to try to grab a pick-me-up. So we offered that as a service, and recently we brought it down so that we could tend to a few other things, namely keeping the room, because there was a college-wide restructure of a lot of the spaces, and we're sitting inside one of them. Actually, this room was repurposed just a month ago. We came in here, there was a lot of desks and large shelves and equipment because it was a lab that hadn't been utilized for a little while. It's instead now a study area between the times of 9 and 11, and then they'll be used for workshops and presenters to come down and speak throughout the semester. So this one's going to be used a lot more. So we don't yet have the consumables that I was mentioning in the parts bin, but that's going to be coming hopefully in the next 2 weeks as we start partnering again with talking to the college and talking to Eric Mark on campus, who's in charge of a lot of the consumables. So that'll be an area where you can come by and get cheaper versions of what we would then have to, you know, hike half a mile to from our classes to get. So hopefully that'll be coming as well. Let's see, what else do we have?
I want to bring up the ideas as starting point to the discussion.
Yeah. Go. There you go. Okay, so one other deal that we'll have is that we've seen that throughout the course, within the next 5 weeks, some of the ECE courses will begin using a software called LabVIEW. And with that, we thought it might be a good idea to make that something we can practice within the organization with members who are interested. And if we get enough bodies to go for the idea, we'll find somebody to lead those courses so that it can be used. When we talk to people from industry, a lot of them say that they utilize the LabVIEW software, one, because it's very GUI based, it's very friendly user friendly, so that you can have a background in coding but still be able to use something like this to get a practical use out of it. We also have PSpice available, but we were unsure if that's something a lot of people would want to go on to for a workshop, but it's definitely going to be something to choose from so we can get the count on it. What do y'all see that might be lacking here that we can think about producing? Or is there one main thing?
I think Python is kind of important.
Python, okay.
Yeah. What I've been told, I spoke to one of my brother's friends he used to work for Sony.
Yeah.
He actually, I think he works for Rackspace at the moment.
Hey, cool.
Yeah, and he was telling me that Python is really powerful right now. I guess it's really good to learn. Also C++ and C is also good. But I asked him like if I had, cause I'm in the process of learning Python right now.
Okay,
on my
good.
own. He said between Python and C++, he said Python would be much better if you want to.
What they want to do in the industry is
Yeah.
they want you to do Python because it's pretty easy to put out abstract ideas in a pretty short amount of actual code, and so that actually saves on the engineer pay time, right? So they like Python because it's really pretty efficient to write stuff out, and then they want you to also know C or C++ to actually have the expensive tasks written more efficiently. So they use them in combination a lot.
So Python would be good as an introductory deal when you go into the field because it's like a rapid prototyping for coding. Yeah.
So is this a survey that
Yeah.
we're gonna put out?
Available. At here.
It's in the Slack.
Last
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you guys can just go to that, that link. Do we have it on the PowerPoint?
PowerPoint's not on the right.
The link under meeting survey, and if you guys could just like choose your top 3 things that you would like to see as like a feedback for us as to what we could provide to you guys, the members. We'd really appreciate that.
Sure, absolutely, please do. Now with that, we're all up here, we've been through a few classes, we've been through some experiences, we've gone to a lot of the events that we've done in the past. I want to make it open a little more broadly, that you can ask us questions about, maybe something that you're curious about in the College of Engineering itself, that we can give some insight. So I started UTSA in 2014, and I came in as a transfer student from the Alamo Community Colleges. And luckily they made it a very easy, smooth transition. Being core complete, I could come in and just do the electrical engineering type deals. If you want to ask any of us about your stay here, about what would make it easier, about something maybe somebody hasn't told you yet that you haven't found in your classes, that we can lend a hand with, just very general things, or if you just want to know our hobbies or what we do on our own time. Yeah. More like a Q&A, open panel. What can we lend a hand?
Are the College of Engineering advisors pretty good about keeping you on track? Or I guess more accurately, it's a better way to say it. Basically, are they good at keeping you from I guess taking extraneous classes or just making
The way I've really, like a lot of people talk a lot of trash about the advisors, but the way I've thought about it is like if you kind of keep yourself in mind and just go to them to double check if you're doing it correctly,
Well, I only ask because, I'm an older student. When I went through school the first time, I got screwed around by advisors. And not anybody specific, but I would ask, is this correct? And then I ended up taking about a year and a half of college that I didn't necessarily need.
Yeah.
Was that here at UTSA? Or?
No. It's
Community
college
college?
in general, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
College in general. So.
It could definitely be a human condition type problem because
Well, and again, I'm just, it's just a generic question.
Yeah.
How are the College of Engineering advisors?
In my experience, they seem to know the degree pretty well,
Okay.
but
That's cool.
you get what you put in for the advisors.
Exactly.
As usual.
Right.
It's more of a collaboration, really.
Yeah,
as
every
opposed to
everything's
like
great.
your own homework.
Yeah.
Pretty good about it.
Okay.
the
Yeah,
absolute
I
go-to.
just, I don't, at this point in my life, I don't have time to waste, so.
I just feel like community college, they want you to finish their curriculum, like to get their associate's degree sometimes.
True.
Well, and I've had issues at universities and community colleges equally. And so, it was just, I guess as far as personal experience, I'm not dogging on anybody specific.
That's perfectly fine. Because I've had a similar experience with advising. It came from that I didn't maybe stay on track on things as much as I had. If I could go back and tell myself a pro tip, it's checking out what they have available on the UTSA ASAP first, and the main link is the degree works. If when you go to advising the first time around, they'll probably show you this link, and you won't know exactly how to utilize it at first. So anyone hearing about the degree works, you visit degree works, and it's almost like being your own advisor. Well, no, we wouldn't have to. What's going to go through there is it'll have a very user-friendly version of the classes that you've already taken and what's coming up on your degree plan, and it'll have it color-coded based if you finished it, if you've got it in progress, and it'll also link you to the prerequisites for it. So a lot of times that's where the confusions will come in is, do I even need that for this concentration I'm doing? Or, if I try to pursue that, have I taken what I need in order to get into it? And being able to do it to where it hyperlinks to the things that you need will get you in the right frame of mind so that when you do go talk to the person in, one-on-one, face-to-face, your time with them, your short time with them, they've got a lot of people to talk to, will be more useful. And so I hope that reaches enough of y'all soon enough that it'll make a difference.
Are there any computer engineering freshmen here?
Computer engineering?
Freshman grad school. Yeah, freshman grad.
Because some of the courses for computer engineering, there's things like discrete math, which is second year computer science course, and I believe computer engineering students have their own prerequisites for that course and a couple other CS courses, which are not in the catalog. So I don't know them. You probably have to go talk to your advisor and say, how do I get into these courses? And they should be.
And then
Science and things.
if you're getting close to it, I know it's mandatory to talk to an advisor. I think once you come closer to 90 hours, 90 credit hours. So they'll actually, you have to go to get a hold taken off because it's specifically there to make sure that that is somebody is keeping along with your classes. You're not taking something extraneous that you thought would be on it, but you didn't need. Or taking something too early. I got into a course because I didn't know the CRNs well enough. I got into, if y'all have seen on the degree plan, the controls system class. I accidentally joined that right after I got out of intro to EE.
No.
The linear systems and control?
Not the linear one. This was just the control systems for the younger.
Design control
Okay.
system.
Designing control systems.
Analysis system.
And they go into a lot of root locus and Nyquist and
That was the last class I took. But
yeah, Bodie plots, and I hadn't taken circuits 1 yet, so a lot of it was, I was able to get into it, so it's important to talk to an advisor and do the degree work to make sure you're not setting you up. So,
back then, they actually had the degree plans, like right outside the office.
yeah,
It tells you what you need, and in the back of the paper, it will show you the prereqs, and also in the front, it will show you what you should take for each semester. I don't know if you guys remember that.
yeah.
Still have them. They
So,
don't appear on the back anymore. I wish they did.
Yeah, they don't have them online. They used to.
Actually, everything's online now. They're trying to save it for study.
Yeah.
Let's see. The College of Engineering has a resource website. Which you have monitors that do this. Okay, thank you.
It requires a lot of scrolling now.
Well, I type in Google, right? So if you go to UTSA Engineering, and you go to the main website, so it says Engineering 2 because we couldn't figure out the login for the original domain. That's why there's a 2. Now, if you can barely see that, if you go to undergrad programs, and then go down to resources, there's a full list of, there's a slew of stuff you can look at. So for degrees, where is it at? I believe it's just degree information. So there's degree works. But anyway,
It's a whole turn
yeah. So the engineering website, which I don't know, I think
It's up there on the web, yeah.
So we'll open a new tab on the
yeah. So as you go through these links, they tell you different stuff. If you need to look in degree works, counseling, calendars, can't find exactly where that link is to the degree plan. Jumpstart, library.
Looking for the electrical engineering one?
Yeah, recently had opinion.
Specifically on
You can Google it, so it comes out.
Yep, there's also a link here, but anyway, yeah, so you can do that and it should come up. But this website itself gives you a lot of resources that you can use.
While we're on that topic, if anybody's got a machine that doesn't quite yet have Word, or if you're looking to put it onto something else, we get free licenses of Microsoft Office. We get 5 free licenses that we can put onto our different devices. I know I bought a new laptop. It only had the little 30-day free software of it, and then you're able to go into My UTSA. So if you just go to myutsa.edu, it brings you to this area, and then if you click OneDrive for Business, it's just going to ask you for your ABC 123 type deal, and then you have a terabyte of storage, of available for free through OneDrive, which is the Microsoft variant of what a lot of us use. We use Drive for Google and just other online storage, Dropbox and all. And after signing in, it'll have these settings available that take you to your Microsoft. Let me actually go into mine. Okay, so when you log into your ABC 123, you'll have a section here. So it's a little fuzzy because of the resolution. We're going through VGA on here, but this is the regular cog that represents your settings in it. If you were to log in through here, you can then come down to Office 365. And then subscriptions. Install status.
I think that changes once you start installing.
Oh.
It's different since you've installed it on your computers. It's the same spot.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you go back to install status, there's a link from there.
Yeah, there's all one.
There, right there, install desktop application.
We click here, and then it'll show you on how many devices you currently have, and then your remainder, so that you can place it on your laptop, so you can place it on a new PC that you build, or if you've got a family member, I've done it on grandparents' PCs before, where I lent them this available one.
The only thing we're missing is Windows 10.
Yeah. Or Windows 10 OS.
You can still get it, you just get a little watermark and I guess what, like a little thing on
In the
side.
corner showing
In the
that it's-
corner, yeah, activation.
That's true.
My EA2 professor has that in all her lectures. Please activate Windows 10.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really distracting.
As well as stay silent the whole time. So this is one of the things that are available to the UTSA students, and on the UTSA Engineering, there used to be a work study for their Facebook page. So we've tried to tell people about this, but as the new semesters come in, a new set of students come in, we'll keep pushing it so that everybody can take advantage of that, as well as 1 terabyte of space. So what other things can y'all think about that we can help out with that you think you're gonna run into throughout the week plan? Maybe talking to professors, maybe schedules for homework, anything along those lines. Extracurricular activities.
Taking some projects, like mini projects and themes and
Yeah.
working on something, like after the job, like UEEE or whatever, Python,
Okay,
and they took some workshops.
that would be
Like,
awesome.
Yeah, some mini projects,
I think projects would be good
yeah.
for a learning experience.
We've entertained the idea before about getting a nice set of, a core set of members that we'd be able to have recurring meetings with and work on something alongside of a software or a small robot or something along those lines. What are some possibilities we can do along the lines of the project?
I still think mimicking Dr. Hanson's end of the year intro project.
Which would utilize a lot of you as well.
Yeah. You
Those
just
are
have
with the
to
mind act.
coordinate with him not to step on plagiaristic toes.
Oh, okay. As well as, what are the companies that have availability? AMD?
It's a pretty general question. So like companies that we can pull projects from.
Right.
Yeah, so if you guys have any ideas for maybe that you have an interest in Intel, right? If you really want to try to do something with that, we can go to Intel and be like, hey, do you guys have a project for our student group to work on? Maybe AMD, IBM, anywhere pretty much local, so we can go there in person and talk to them as well. But yeah, so like AMD, we can go ask like, hey, do you guys have a cool heatsink design to work on? Or we go to Intel or go to IBM and be like, hey, so that Watson, we can rebuild it for you.
Okay.
That would probably be good.
So they offer these things to the public, and then people like us would be the prime candidates for getting together and collaborating and make it a reality. And they oftentimes have some really cool incentives as to getting it finished and what they can do for you.
Kind of getting close to industry, general, like, stuff with you.
Exactly so, making those contacts in people that have already got a foothold, so that, you know, when we come out of here, we've got that much more, people to vouch for us, because it's partially what it takes. So I like that idea. We'll see that come to fruition, so we can get together and do some projects. All right. Yeah, before I let us go, is there anything else we can, help out with? A lot of the key points we made today are that, we're always open for membership if you're not a member. If you are a member, first deal to take advantage of that would be this Friday at 6 p.m. We're going to be holding the Fragathon in the AET ground floor, and I'll possibly be releasing in an email a small video description that we've created, so that if you don't know exactly where that study room is, we have directions to it that show the exact room number, how to get there, and what it'll entail.
And if you need to come back to this meeting and read here any of the information we talked about, I have us up here being recorded with that camera. So we'll have all the general meetings and all events on the IEEE YouTube page. So if there's anything that we said or that you want to see, the PowerPoint should also be on there. You can visit our YouTube page and watch the meeting if you want to. But also, if you can't make future meetings, we'll also have a video going as well.
Yes, key thing. I know availability of times and schedules between when people work and what classes are taken can be hard to schedule, so that'll be an alternative.
Is this generally the time and place that we'll be having a meeting, or?
Probably the place, but not the time.
Right, the time will shift. We're going to be aiming for this section here. It's a brand new office, so we can take advantage of it. The time was a little spotty. We tried to fit it in after a meeting that was happening here at 5:30. That's going to be up in the air. We might have to set a mass communication between the members to see what would be best suited for coming out to our general meetings.
Like a survey or something.
Yeah, a survey on there that we can put an anonymous deal, just to show when would be a prime.
You guys have a Facebook page?
We do. We have a Facebook page available. I can bring it up over here.
It's facebook.com/IEEE UTSA, all one word.
Oh,
You
it's
talk already?
Oh, we did it.
Just UTSA.
You just put UTSA.
Oh. Then even then, I might have to log in with mine.
Can't block that. So you just do, you can actually just go facebook.com/IEEE UTSA. And it shouldn't be a private page. Or we have to log in.
If you go to the website, there's two things.
Yeah, sites.
I didn't know there was a site.
Yep. So our website also has our Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. Which I think we have to log in for that.
You guys are the form?
There's two.
Right. But all this information will include with the email, as well as all the relevant details. Thank you for lending us your ears. Thank you for helping us come up with some extra things that we're going to be offering everybody. We're going to be seeing a lot more of y'all, as well as bringing out some more opportunities. It's going to be a good semester. All right, guys. If there's anything else we can kind of specify on, I'll be hanging out here for a second. Otherwise, we'll be seeing who we can this Friday. Thank you.